It was the night of October 15, 1940. The Atlantic roared under the shadows of war. Aboard the Italian submarine Capellini, lookouts spotted a silhouette on the horizon. It was the Belgian merchant ship Kabalo, loaded with aircraft engines bound for Sierra Leone and in service with the British Air Force. The submarine's captain, Salvatore Todaro, knew what he had to do according to the rules of war: intercept, fire, sink. And so he did. A brief but fierce duel erupted in the waters. Bullets whizzed by. A shell struck the stern of the Kabalo, which began to burn like a floating inferno. The flames lit up the night, and the desperate crew trying to free the lifeboats. Only one of the boats managed to float. The ship sank. The sailors' screams were lost in the darkness and cold water. The men on the submarine awaited orders. It was logical to submerge and leave. The enemy was defeated. But Salvatore Todaro didn't give the expected order. Silently, looking out at the sea lit by the wreckage of the fire, he said in a firm voice, "Get close to the boat. We're going to help you." A silence fell among his men. It wasn't usual. It wasn't normal. It wasn't safe. But it was the humane thing to do. They towed the boat, but it was in poor condition. It wouldn't hold up much longer. The only solution was to risk even more: get all 26 survivors onto the submarine's deck. If an enemy plane spotted them, they wouldn't be able to dive, and they would all die. But Todaro wasn't thinking about that. He was thinking about saving lives. The English commander of the Kabalo was taken inside the submarine. He had a safe with him. He wanted to give its contents to Todaro as a thank you. Todaro refused. "Our duty is to save men, not to accept payment." The Englishman asked, "How far can they take us?" Todaro didn't know yet. He only knew that he had to get them to dry land. They sailed for 2 days and 2 nights, without a break, under constant surveillance, one Italian, the other English. Constant danger in the sky and at sea, but as if by miracle, no one discovered them. Finally, they sighted Sal Island in Cape Verde. There were English fortifications there. Todaro knew he was risking his life by approaching, but he kept his promise. They waited for nightfall. They made small landings in rubber boats, 7 in total. The last to set foot on land was the English commander, carrying the box Todaro had returned to him. And then, something happened that no one would ever forget. One of the African sailors, his skin tanned by the sun and suffering, pulled out a silver outlet. He wiped it against his trousers and offered it to Captain Todaro. "That's all we have to give you. Thank you." Todaro couldn't speak. He just accepted the gesture and nodded humbly. A month later, a letter arrived from Lisbon at the Italian Ministry of the Navy. It was signed by a Portuguese woman. No one knows her name. It read, "The commander who sank the Kabalo acted like a hero, not a barbarian. We kneel before him. May he be blessed for his kindness. He was a hero not only for Italy, but for all humanity." In times of war, where everything seems to justify hatred, some choose compassion. Salvatore Todaro was not just a captain. He was a brave human being who reminded the world that honor is not measured by how many enemies are defeated, but by how many lives are saved. Because even in the darkest seas, the light of humanity can shine. This story is taken from an old war memory